Hi everyone, you're looking at the identical twins. Today we ended up wearing on the same t-shirt.
This was not planned. This was just one of those very fortunate coincidences that we both opened up our closets, our back caves in our own homes, and we came into the mirror universe together.
This is called coincidence. Anyways, today's live broadcast is really special for the sake of so many things that have been announced in the summer. We just have woken up from the frenzy of Deadpool and Wolverine, which has now reached $1 billion
Yeah,
mark.
I was going to talk about.
Okay, so that has been done. That has been achieved at San Diego Comic Con, the D23. There is a lot that has been announced on front of toys with respect to comics, with respect to movies, with respect to the animated series. As all of you can see, that both me and Jameel are wearing Batman for a reason because we are really happy that the Batman Cape Crusader. What's your take? Because I really loved it.
The cartoon. Yes. Again, we didn't agree to talk about Cape Crusader today, but very interesting cartoon. They took a very different take on the Cape Crusader. There were some gender swaps. There were some race swaps, well, which was fine. I mean, the artists are allowed to take liberties. It worked. I feel like, and it was all over the internet that the penguin is now a female.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons they did it is that they want to introduce her sons, and that played a very pivotal role in that first episode. So if you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's very dark. It's very adult oriented, and you get a very nice little hint towards the end as to what we're going to be getting in season 2.
Okay, guys and ladies and gents, uh, watch this live broadcast till the end because there are some activities which we have learned through our network of colleagues that might be happening in Jeddah, but one thing's for sure that they are going to be happening in Saudi Arabia, and a lot is headed our way because now, thankfully, things have been resolved between the studios and the General Entertainment Authority and GCAM in Saudi Arabia, which is why we were able to watch and enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine. So please stay till the end because there's a lot that we have to announce to you guys with respect to activities that are going to be happening either in Jeddah or in the rest of the country. Okay, so now, Son of Sparda, I want you to start out with the topic that you think is like the hottest topic right now.
We're starting with the SDCC.
Okay, San Diego Comic Con.
San Diego Comic Con happened recently. And by the way, for those who may not be aware, this convention is the biggest Comic Con in the world. It's actually called Comic Con International.
Yes.
And I have tried for years to go to this. And the way it happens is they send you an email. They'll say tickets will go on sale at a specific time of day. And you log in and you wait. And every year, within minutes, tickets are gone. So I've tried. Hopefully, you guys will have better luck. But what they did this year is that they talked about Fantastic Four. And, the minute they talked about the title, because it was very late at night for us here in Saudi.
Yes.
The minute they started talking about the title and they showed the car, I thought to myself, if this is the most excitement they have this year, I'm out. And I passed out because it was so late, and I had things to do the following day. So I missed the biggest announcement there. Of course, they had the cast there, Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby and the rest of them. That was amazing. But we didn't really get to see much to that point, and that's when I checked out. So I wake up the next morning and my phone's exploding because they're announcing that RDJ is coming back. They have a bunch of Doom dressed people coming up on stage. Doom bots coming up on stage, but his cloak was a different shade of green.
Yes.
When everyone stepped aside, and he came up to the front, and he just took it, and the hall exploded. And for those who don't know, Hall H is where they do the biggest announcements. People, even if you're attending the convention, people camp out for days to go into this hall. And out of the thousands of people, they will only take about, I think, 5%. It's not entirely too big. They'll only take about 5% of attendees will fit into this hall. So the hall just exploded. People were yelling and screaming to see RDJ back. We weren't expecting. We knew he'd be back. You don't do Iron Man for years and years, open the MCU up with your first movie, and have such success, and be the highest paid actor in Hollywood, and then just disappear. We knew he was coming back. We did not know he was coming back as Doctor Doom. So he goes up on stage and says, I believe that his words were, different mask, same task.
Yes.
So it's our assumption is, and let me know your take, is that it's a variant of Tony Stark. The Russo brothers are also, we should mention, the two directors who did, Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame and Winter Soldier. They're coming back, and so we're very excited to have them. They've been doing other things for other studios, but over at Marvel, there's just a nice little magic to be had when these people can come back. The Russo brothers, Kevin Feige and RDJ, they bring something very special to the table. So we're looking forward to it. But I guess our assumption is that he's some sort of variant. RDJ is coming back as a variant. And it's going to be something, because it's not just a different face. We want to see, the world's greatest hero come back as the world's greatest villain. So I think we're going to be waiting for that moment where, Tony Stark is going to go against maybe Peter Parker, or maybe he's going to go against Pepper in her rescue armor, or maybe his daughter. Maybe he's going to go against Tony's daughter. Maybe she's all grown up by now.
Played by Lexi Rabe. I hope Lexi Rabe makes.
Who's been here in Saudi several times for a convention.
Yeah, she was here. She was here last Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so RDA was the biggest news, and for those of you who may not have been able to understand the reference which Jameel was sharing with us, there was a What If series in Marvel Comics where it was written by the biggest names when it comes to Iron Man, namely David Michelinie and Bob Layton. And it was imagined that what if Tony Stark had become Victor Von Doom? What if Tony Stark had become Doctor Doom instead of Victor Von Doom becoming Doom? So that's a very interesting story. And again, we're not saying that this is definitely going to happen, but it seems highly likely. Why? Because knowing the kind of person Kevin Feige is, knowing the kind of person Rob RDJ and the Russo brothers are, we simply cannot, how should I say, take it off the table. It's very likely that this might happen. And next up is exactly based on the art of the 1986, and they have been marketing it as if it's come on screen from that very famous scene when Optimus Prime goes out to rescue Autobots in Autobot City. That, in my opinion, was the biggest announcement when it comes to toys. Also, Marvel Legends. A lot of good action figures have come out. A lot of good HasLab projects for GI Joe as well. Okay, and I think and also James Gunn Superman.
Oh yes. Did they? Hang on, till you get the pictures if you want to talk about that.
Okay, so James Gunn, basically, we all saw that he made some very major announcements. We also came across Superman merch that launched also during that time. So now this is San Diego Comic Con. The bigger question is that how get these things here in Saudi Arabia? That's the bigger challenge here that we have.
All right, so this is a studio series, and what's nice about this, I'm going to pull up the pictures. So,
Show it to the
oh,
camera.
sure. So there it is, and they're doing some. Oh, they're doing some poses from the movie, from the 1986 movie, which is really nice. But the thing that caught my attention, I'll pull up the picture right now, is that they have this effect part that simulates the exact scene where Optimus leaps into the sky, and right before them, you see him jumping up as he's still in truck form, right there. So he's got these little effect parts that simulates him launching into the air. It's never been before, so that's a pretty cool little effect part.
This is the thing that really makes me want to collect this type of action figure, because it helps us recreate scenes that we grew up with, and it's just like just pure nostalgia. It's just something really cool to have all together as well. Okay.
One thing about the toys I want to talk about, Mondo, a company that's prominently known for making small figures, but also scale figures, has announced they're making scale Thundercats.
Yes.
I'm trying to find pictures. Mondo 16. Keep spelling it wrong. There we go. Mondo. So for those of us who grew up in the 80s with Thundercats, it's a really your line of figures. Oh, I'm sorry. Super 7 is the company that makes the 6-inch
Yes.
Thundercat series.
3.5 inches also.
Yes, absolutely. So Mondo is making their own 1/6 scale
Lion.
figure. It's magnificent. It's huge. The only difference from the series is it has these new armor skirt, which is fine. I would have preferred without the skirt.
Yeah.
So this picture, and I'm told the attendees got to see a clip of the new Spider-Man friendly Spider-Man cartoon series, which looks straight out of comic. The way the drawings look, which is nice. I would have. John Burns had the pleasure of meeting him on Charlie.
Met Charlie. John Burns.
What is going to be not due for him to land in California. They announced that they have Deadpool Wolverine roaming around.
Yes.
They get to talk to them. They have time. So if you go to the park, you'll see a story. It's a lot of fun. The Avengers.
I haven't watched the entire video of it. It was hosted by Steve Cebulski, the editor-in-chief of Marvel.
Yeah.
Jason Aaron. Now, I don't have a lot of good opinions about both of them, considering what both of them have been doing. Nevertheless, I'm glad that there's 50th anniversary panel for the Wolverine. I wish it marketed as much as other properties were, because let's not forget, all of these characters, whether we're talking about DC or Marvel, they all come from comic book. If the comic book is there, these characters won't be there for long. And considering the fact that there are some that have had respect to comics, like for example, Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo. Now, Jonathan Hickman, big name when it comes to comics. He has been responsible for the latter Infinity Saga, Secret Wars, features Dr. Reed Richards, and he's writing the Wolverine limited series. I think it's called Wolverine Revenge, along with Greg Capullo. Now, for those of you who are me and Jameel, who grew up in the 90s collecting comics, Greg Capullo was a big name when it came to X-Force and X-Men books back in the day. So that's one. The other thing is there is another series which is by Chris Claremont, the guy who basically is the best writer ever for X-Men. Okay, he is actually writing the series. I'll share the name with you guys in the comments below. And mashallah, for viewers. Guys, if you have any questions,
So, after having fun watching Deadpool Wolverine, I've gone to see it a couple of times right now. It's incredibly fun. You notice different things every time you go. And one thing I didn't notice on my first time was the Wolverine variant with his hand cut off. Did you see that?
that one is from Age of Apocalypse.
Yes, I had to research it. I didn't know much about him. So yeah, he had his hand cut off. I thought that was because he was the most vicious Wolverine that they saw there. The moment he saw Deadpool, he threw him across the room, jumped on top of him, started beating him up. And I thought I had to research this guy.
Well, you can't blame him because it's Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is the ruler of the world,
Yeah.
and it's one of the best crossover events that I had read in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because Age of Apocalypse, every bit of it was done masterfully. I understand that there are a lot of people out there who say that Chris Claremont was the best writer and the rest were not that good. No, that would be unfair to say that. Yes, Chris Claremont is the apex when we are talking about X-Men comics. So were other individuals as well. We have people like Archie Goodwin, the late Archie Goodwin, who wrote Wolverine. We have Fabian Echanza. We have Scott Lobdell, who is not mentioned as much as should. So, coming back, Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, $1 billion.
Oh my gosh. So many millions in that billion, right?
So many millions.
But we have to thank the fans for your support. I'm glad everyone's enjoying this movie. Go see it a bunch of times. We've seen it times. I might see it one more time for you out of theaters and onto digital. Such a fun movie, and I think it's safe to say that Marvel is back in form. Having a couple of flops in a row. So I'm happy that we're at this point where we're finally enjoying these movies again.
And immediately after Deadpool and Wolverine, both of us got entertained with Batman Cape Crusader. So as we had talked about the series a little bit earlier, please make sure you do watch that because this year has been one heck of a year when it comes to animation. Right?
Yep.
We had X-Men '97.
Mhm.
We had Batman Cape Crusader.
Yep.
We had My Adventures with Superman Season 2. Again, it's moving at a very good pace. I'm really enjoying that. And now we are at the we are very near when it comes to Transformers 1. But before we talk about Transformers 1, we have a very important announcement to make. Next month, our live broadcast is going to happen, which is going to feature the Transformers fan base in. So we are trying to gather as many guests as possible and make sure to watch this live broadcast. Remember, this live broadcast is a monthly session. So you guys now we're going to be keeping you updated.
Are we going to do the panel before or after we watch the movie?
No, it's going to be before we watch
Okay.
the movie.
So I should just mention at that point because I told you, but we can't share too many details. We can't share too many details, but maybe attending a early premiere of Transformers 1 this weekend.
Oh,
So at that panel,
lucky guy.
I might be
Lucky
the only
guy.
one at the panel who's seen the movie.
Well, you need to keep it hush hush. Okay. The only thing that we need to know from you
Yeah.
is it worth our time or not? Because from the looks of it,
Mhm.
Transformers One seems to be uh, offering a high potential when it comes to entertainment because it's based on a Generation One animated series episode called War Dog, where we came across Orion Pax, the Optimus Prime. The only difference in that episode and in this movie is more connected with the War for Cybertron series, which was broadcasted or streamed on Netflix few years ago. Very good series for any G1 fan because Transformers 1 is based on the story that Megatron and Optimus Prime
Yeah.
are good friends, best of friends, and how did the fallout happen? Whereas in the G1 animated series, Orion Pax was working in a factory in Cybertron for Energon cubes. Megatron had become the warrior, wanderer, the conqueror already. He comes after the Amazon cubes, uh, tries to kill Orion Pax and Alita 1 along the way. Later on, aerial bots rescue them. Now, that's a different story. How would aerial bots get there? That's a different story, but it involves time travel. They were able to rescue them and then take them to Alpha Trion. And from there, Optimus Prime is made by Alpha Trion, and next thing you know, Optimus Prime becomes Megatron's worst nightmare. And for those of you who have watched this animated series episode, you understand what I'm talking about.
Uh,
Okay,
I would also encourage people, if you've seen G1 cartoons, that's fantastic. But I will also encourage you, I feel like the last really good, because we've had several since the G1, several series of Transformers. The last really good series that I enjoyed was Transformers Prime. And it had a very similar story where Optimus loses the matrix of leadership, or I think he uses up its power, and he gets reset. His programming goes back to when he was Orion, and he's recruited as a Decepticon. So he has to, get up the courage once again to stand up to Megatron and switch sides again.
Transformers Prime is a good series also, and okay, that's one thing. Now, anything that we have forgotten to touch upon since we started the live broadcast?
Um, Not that anything comes to mind. Just keep a lookout. Just because a lot of things are coming. We can't really at the moment. Very hush hush. But as soon as we let you guys know, and good things are coming. It's a good year to be. Oh, so things we can't talk about, which is public knowledge. The last couple of superhero movies we have coming out, not really much in terms of hype, but from Sony Studios we have Kraven the Hunter and Venom 2. I'm sorry, Venom 3, the Last Dance. And as much as we want to be hyped for these movies, the last couple of Sonyverse movies have not. We're not gonna even talk about Madam Web.
You heard it.
We can't even bring ourselves to. They'll kick us out of here if we do. So nothing could have saved that movie. So we're not too hyped. We hope they're good. As much as they tried to make these movies without Spider-Man, I feel like at some point we need a Spider-Man versus Venom movie. Please, Sony, if you're listening, it's not that hard. I know they've been trying to do a Sinister Six movie, and hopefully someday they will. If you remember, there's a tease of it in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, of them trying to build the Sinister Six. So hopefully someday it'll happen. I don't know why it keeps getting derailed, but hopefully we'll see that someday. But as of right now, they announced that Kraven the Hunter is finally getting a rated R rating, parental rating, and that what that means is that there's going to be lots of gore, lots of blood, some profanity. I don't know if that's going to save the movie. We'll see how it is when it comes out in December. And usually, guys, movies that get moved to December, it's holiday season, and that usually, in most cases, means that the studio has a lot of fun in this movie. Because people are free and they want high-profile movies to get noticed. So we'll see if that's the case. We'll see.
I don't have any high hopes at all, because any movie that doesn't have Spider-Man facing off against his arch nemesis is just downright awful for me. Uh, Full disclosure, uh, till now, I think Morbius a much better movie compared to what we have seen from Sony. My advice to Sony Pictures is, look, you want to keep the rights, you want to make money, okay, perfectly fine. God bless capitalism. But from now on, stop attempting to make movies about Spider-Man and Spider-Verse, because the only thing good going on at your end is the Spider-Verse animated movie. Other than that, you guys have not been able to do anything good without Marvel's support. I have a lot of issues with Marvel Studios, but I have more issues with you guys tarnishing Spider-Man, his Rogues Gallery, his entire Spider-Verse, if you might call it.
I did hit a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I were in charge of the Spider-Verse movies, Lord and Miller.
Hmm.
I heard that they've been put in charge of everything Spider-Man related. So the live action stuff, everything in Sony's house, they will be in charge of it from now on. And I hope that's true. I also heard a rumor that they're considering doing Morales movie. Since Marvel is busy with Peter Parker, they're going to take the Miles Morales venue. So hopefully that all sounds good to me. I hope it happens.
Okay, now we have to move on to a very important bit, which is what's going to be happening in Jeddah or in Saudi Arabia with respect to these activities. As you are aware, that what we saw when Deadpool and Wolverine was released, we saw giveaways, we saw some exclusive merch that was available, but only in cinemas. We didn't find anything in the stores that basically positioned themselves as a hotspot for entertainment and pop culture.
What? We didn't get the Wolverine with the open mouth popcorn bucket?
That's another one.
There's a lot of controversy about what people will be using these popcorn buckets for. You know about this, right? The Dune popcorn bucket and then the Wolverine popcorn that made fun of the Dune one. So we didn't get those. Alhamdulillah. Because I can't imagine what people will be doing with those. But we did get some steel popcorn buckets that had Deadpool on one side, Wolverine on the other side. So I got that. But we didn't get I feel like the cap they should be getting shirts, pins, the same friendship pins. I couldn't find that anywhere here locally. The problem is with these popcorn buckets and cups.
We didn't get any Marvel Legends action figures available in Jeddah. I don't know what's the situation in Riyadh.
Yep.
We didn't get any minifigures. We didn't get any T-shirts at any retail outlet. The only two that we have to commend, and this is not for the sake of paid promotion, this is like as fans, I have to commend Vox and AMC, because AMC, they distributed very good quality posters like they usually do, and Vox was a bit ahead when they had T-shirts and other stuff. Now, okay,
Can I show off something I'm getting for Deadpool? Oh, I'm getting this window clinger. And I'm getting also this buddy,
Inshallah.
which doesn't hang to a window, but I'll try and find a way. This little guy. Cinemas, why couldn't you get these guys? People would have bought them in the dozens.
I mean, again, the market has seen the level of excitement that was there for Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Anyone who's Saudi Arabia and have a lot of Marvel and DC fans, guys, get out of it. Okay, do some homework, do your research. It's not like I agree. The community is not like the anime fan following community over here, but anime is more noise. The real passion that you find from the community when it comes to collecting. I have Son of Sparda, Jameel Bakhsh with. If you look at it, it's amazing, and he's not the only one. Since I started this last 7, I've come across so many individuals in Arabia. You have Figures Master, who has vintage action figures all the way from the late 80s and then coming 90s and early 2000s. He has toys in, and I am don't want to boast much about myself, but I have one of the major
Doing a live action.
whose style.
They've announced to start to look at.
uh, whatever questions you have. I mean, that makes us happy to. Okay, now the other bit is that the activities, as I have mentioned, is that every month.
This guy. Was Galitzine?
Okay, Nicholas Galvin to the viewers.
This fella. Can't focus. Oh, there we go.
So we'll be having a monthly live broadcast, which we broadcast from. The idea is for comics, everything. For those of you who are in Riyadh, you can go and check out Comic Verse store. Again, this is for the fan service, not for the paid promotion. Excuse us for the alarm.
Alarm.
It's type alarm. Yeah. Okay. So if you're in Riyadh, check out Comic Verse, comic books, the actual brick and mortar store. These guys have an amazing collection, not just of new comics and graphic novels, but also back issues as well, more. Okay, the other bit is that since all of these movies are going to be releasing in Saudi Arabia, and I hope it is going to be because Transformers 1 is already being marketed across cinemas. So I hope we get to see Transformers merch.
Boys has released images, and I'm going to try and pull it up talking of their 1/6 scale with artists in here, and it looks fantastic. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And it has a diorama of the show that he was on right before he killed the host. So I'm going to pull that up in just a minute.
For those of you not aware, Jameel is a big fan when it comes to hot toys, sideshow collectibles, and all these.
All right, here we go. So here's Mr. J. Just going to pull up a good. Look at that likeness.
Smile, for your heart
he's
is
going,
aching.
and there's this picture. I'm trying to
Smile, even though you're breaking.
So I'm trying to get him sitting. Oh, there we go. So he comes with this entire base, the curtain, the name of the behind him, the lights. It lights up on the top, but it looks pretty intricate. Comes with a gun, cigarette. So that
Amazing attention to detail as always. Okay, so uh, now definitely there's going to be some activity cinemas here. I'm still waiting for these pop culture entertainment centers, retail shops that are here. Now, one very major announcement that I am about to make. It's still not 100% confirmed which city is this going to take place, but we are going to be having a comic type activity. I'm still waiting to just to make sure that it's Comic Con, not Anime Con designed as going to be taking place in November. Most likely going to take place.
hopefully that will be right. I feel like they've had a lot of success having it here. Um, in other territories. I mean, there's no reason at all why we can't have one here. There can't be another one in other territories of Saudi. So hopefully, can get to a point where we can have one here, and then in 2 months' time, another one in another territory, and different guests at each one. And if you want to this one, if it's just down the street, you can do that. Because all over the country, I feel like there are a lot of fans.
If the United Arab Emirates can have Middle East Film and Comic Con, PopCon, two different ones, why can't we in Saudi Arabia have a proper Comic Con, not anime expo in the guise of Comic Con, but a proper Comic Con, one in Jeddah, one in Riyadh, one in Sharjah. The fan base is huge. Again, we all saw it across the cinemas, across the country, but more importantly, you now have a proper brick and mortar store in Riyadh. If you go and check out, meet, interact with people in Sharjah, they are very much into Western pop culture and comics and everything. They are still like, if I have found more readers of comics, whether it's Marvel, DC, or Indie, as much as there are in Jeddah and Riyadh, but a lot of them, for the size of the geography that's there, a lot of them are in Sharjah. I don't know what these guys are thinking. but it's a good sigh of relief. It's a sigh of relief, not good sigh of relief. It's a sigh of relief that at least it's now highly likely that a Comic Con is going to be taking place. Last year's Comic Con was a little bit of an improvement because there were some people who were related to the superhero genre. We had Stephen Amell from Arrowverse TV series. We had Chad Hardin, the famous Harley Quinn comic book artist who has worked with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner. We had Mustafa Musa, who has worked on Fantastic Four with Marvel. So there were some good additions, but we need more. Stanley Supercon, we just don't have a clue why they are not being invited to host a Comic Con here again, because the quality of celebrities that these guys had, nobody had. And now, unfortunately, from what I have heard, that last time when they hosted in 2022, they ran into issues with their local partner concerning the vendor payments and everything. And since then, they have decided not to be in Saudi Arabia. If that is the case, I'm really heartbroken because Stanley Supercon was a valuable addition to the Saudi entertainment scene. There are huge fans of.
Last year when they announced it here in Jeddah, you know what they were doing a tease. They were like, "You have it. You're going to get some people who are a little sour and upset."
Exactly.
So I hope we can get to a point where we can appease the people in Jeddah, the people in Riyadh, the people in Sharjah. Everyone can be happy with the decision. I mean, it's not too much to ask for three major conventions, right? In the three major cities we have.
Bro, considering the market of Saudi Arabia, I mean, the Jeddah campus is a strong economy and everything,
Yep.
but the size is not equal to Saudi Arabia.
True, very
Okay,
true.
so Saudi Arabia is like huge when it comes to population size, when it comes to the fan base. If United Arab Emirates can have two Comic Cons
Yep.
having,
Let's have three.
why not?
At least.
At least.
I feel like there are more major cities, but these are probably the biggest, right? In the West Coast, the East Coast, and then in Central Saudi. So let's do that, and let's get at least two big names for each convention. I feel like if you were able to do that, like really big Hollywood, can you imagine if The Rock came over in 1 year? I feel like that alone will close the convention down, right? If he came over to, I mean, granted, I don't know if he has any superhero stuff coming up in the pipeline, but if James Gunn were to call him and say, "We want you to come over," you're playing Logo in DC, and then the following year he come to Saudi to promote his movie. So we'll see. Jason Momoa hasn't announced who he's playing, and I think he's been here before, right?
Yes, he was here, I think, in 2017. Yes, he was here at
Oh,
the
it's been a while. It's been a while.
first Comic Con Arabia that happened in Riyadh. He was the chief guest,
Oh, nice.
but he was the only attraction
Ah,
in that Comic Con because the other ones were like, who? You get my point. But Jason Momoa has been here. Zachary Levi was here as part of Stanley Supercon. Michael Rooker,
Yep.
Yondu.
Yep.
You had Lexi Rabe, I Love You 3000 from Avengers. And then at the same time, people like William Shatner, Sam Jones, Alex Panovich. I mean, I can go on and on. They all came to Saudi Arabia. Lou Ferrigno.
So a while back, they also announced that we're going to be having the very first Dragon Ball themed theme park.
Yeah, that's coming to Riyadh.
It's coming. Well, not even Riyadh. It's a different city, right?
Khadija.
Qadiyah. Thank you.
Khadija.
So, in light of that, let's get the Dragon Ball voice actors. Let's get Sean Schemmel and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on Vegeta's voice actor, but he does a bunch of characters in the show. I've met him a couple of times. Really nice guys. Let's get them here to promote the theme park.
I think they should be doing that. I sure hope because Khadija is going really aggressive with its plans. But more importantly, I'm glad Jameel mentioned that because we are also going to be having a Transformers theme park, which the first one is going to be built in Riyadh, and then there will be others in Jeddah and other cities and so forth. There's going to be a theme park for My Little Pony, from what I've heard, and a Play-Doh theme park also, which has, and these have been announced. These are not like rumors or something.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I haven't heard that. But not so much the Little Pony, but the Transformers one. Excited for that one.
This is another reason why you should be visiting my website sonofjeddah.com, because there you get these kind of information. I'm going to share the link with you so you can have a look at it. But you see, there is a lot going on in Saudi Arabia, and frankly speaking, I mean, like the way the market is very passive, very, like, it's disappointing. I mean, private companies, retailers, global brands that are already here, they need to wake up and smell the coffee. So I'm sure we have covered a significant amount of the developments that have taken place. Oh, yes, one thing. Next year, 2025, just imagine the level of excitement that's going to be flooding Saudi Arabia. Assumption is that all the movies are going to get released.
Oh, what's happening?
Firstly, Captain America Brave New World in February. In July, we're going to be having Fantastic Four. Oh man, for anyone who grew up in Saudi Arabia in the 80s, man, Fantastic Four was huge for us because we grew up watching the 60s animated series and the 70s animated series. And later on, later generations uh, were lucky enough to watch the Fantastic Four animated series that was broadcasted on Cartoon Network. So Fantastic Four is going to be releasing in July, then followed by James Gunn's Superman, and then you have Thunderbolts, and they are saying that Blade is going to be released in 2025 also.
I hope so. it's it's been delayed a bunch of times. It's lost a few writers and directors, and they made that huge joke about it in Deadpool Wolverine. We won't spoil it, but it's a good joke. Um, Mahershala Ali, Oscar-winning actor, has been on the bench, waiting for this project to happen for years and years and years. And I hope he gets to play the role. It seems like he's very passionate about it. But I feel like if this gets delayed any longer, either Marvel or Mahershala is going to say, "You guys need to find someone else. I'm busy. I'm working on other projects. I can't wait for this anymore." So Marvel, please don't lose this man. Get him behind the camera. Get him in that leather coat. Get him with a sword in his hand, and let him shoot something. Let him kill some vampires.
Mahershala Ali is a valuable addition to Marvel Studios. So, uh, and in 2025, Daredevil Born Again series is going to be streamed in March 2025. Now, what does that say about fans in Saudi Arabia? Well, one thing, along with Son of Sparda, we are going to be doing our monthly live broadcasts, and we are going to be basically showcasing the fan base for these characters to the best of our abilities. So that's one thing that's going to happen, inshallah. And the other bit is that what will the cinemas bring us? And I hope that the local retailers, they wake up, okay, and they start paying attention to the needs of the superhero fan base in Saudi Arabia. So that's the other bit. But at least as far as we are concerned, as huge fans, as big time collectors, we are going to remain active with our live broadcast and any other activity that would may bring a smile to your faces. So I think with that we should conclude our live broadcast.
I'm gonna I won't do my usual rant about piracy that I did last time, but I will say, uh, folks, please, if possible, if you can fight the urgency to get out your phones and film this one guy sat next to me during my second viewing of Deadpool Wolverine and nearly shot the entire movie. And guys, I understand you need to put stuff on your social media and tell people I'm watching a movie, which we all do every day. But take a couple of seconds, a minute. But the lighting ruins the experience for a lot of us. So I could feel my blood pressure going up as this guy was filming the entire movie. So as much as you enjoy it, maybe your followers enjoy it. we people who are with you in the theater don't enjoy it. So please, if possible, put your. They've had that Deadpool Wolverine little announcement at the beginning of the movie. Put away your phones. So I'm surprised the guy saw that and he was like, no, it's fine. So it is what it is.
A public service announcement or a public service message, but a valuable message. Why? Because, guys, don't spoil it for others. That's one thing.
Yep.
We do understand that sometimes these companies actually force you to piracy. For example, X-Men 97, it was streamed in America, but it was not streamed on Disney Plus in the Middle East at the same time. These things really, really make people angry, make people disgruntled. This is a globalized world now. You cannot have that situation that a movie is getting released first in the US and 3 months later it's going to be landing in Saudi Arabia. We are all interconnected. Okay, we're having the same apps. If Disney Plus is in the US, Disney Plus is over here. We've got Netflix, we've got all the other things. So please take care of the fans. We want to appreciate the hard work that you guys do, but don't like force us with your commercial arrangements that leave us hanging out dry.
And let me tell you, a lot of people talk about how to do you want to support DC or Marvel, and I realize these are multi-billion-dollar organizations. But if you want to support these projects that they're doing, the only way to do that is with our wallets. So by watching them, not by pirating them. So when you do, they get nothing. They don't get your viewership. They don't get your buck. They have no idea of knowing that you've watched this. So the only way to support them is to tell them to speak to them with our wallets and say, "We are watching." And by pirating, you're not doing that. You're stealing it, which is haram, and you're not supporting the project. So I know it's a lot to ask to spend a couple of bucks, but it's the only way for us to continue to get these projects, to let them know that we're watching.
And with that, our live broadcast comes to an end. Next month's live broadcast is going to be taking place in September before the release of Transformers 1. The only person on the panel is going to be Son of Sparda, who is blessed to have been provided access to have the early premiere of the movie. But the other bit is that the guests that are going to be there are going to be representing Transformers fandom in Jeddah. And hopefully, we get the opportunity that we are able to do these live broadcasts from Riyadh, from Khobar, from Khamis Masjid, Tabuk, Neom, Qadiyya itself. We just hope that we get these opportunities later on. Thank you to each and every one of you who joined our live broadcast. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with your friends who are into this sort of stuff, and make sure to leave a comment. Share your questions. Both me and Son of Sparda would be honored to get back to you with your queries.
And since because of the shirts we're wearing today, I'll close it with this. For those who understand the reference, same bad time, same bad place.
Take care.
That was from the